Welcome on back to another episode of the Goonery. Today is September 10th, and the Chicago Bears are 1-0. Brandon, it was not pretty whatsoever, but a win is a win.
A win is a win. And anyone else who wants to be the contrarian about how we won the game, well, I don't know what to tell you. But what I did see was a team that was resilient. This was a team that was down 17-0, and everybody, including myself, at that point was saying, "This is the same old shit, just a different year." And what they showed us defensively is that they're resilient. They made the plays, and this is a team that because well, let's take you back to last year when this was a clearly demoralized team because they couldn't get anything going offensively, and it affected the defense. The defense folded, and you can just tell there is a camaraderie around this team just off of who is coaching. Credit to Matt Eberflus, but also all the personnel changes in terms of who's the defensive coordinator now, who did they add in the offseason and even in preseason. More notably, Daryl Taylor, who I think was the best player on the field on defense on
Yeah,
Sunday. So
yeah. I mean,
so it
just
was a very pleasant surprise, especially for a lot of people said that it is going to be tough for the Bears to compete because they don't have that second pass rusher behind Montez Sweat, which is going to lead to more double teams. Who's going to be the person to step up? We hope this is going to be a consistent thing with Daryl Taylor because that would be beautiful to see, especially when you are sort of kind of banking on DeMarcus Walker to have a breakout year, or you're expecting for Austin Booker
mhm.
to progress fast. Which, when you have a veteran who is very quick off the line and he's very strong, you'll take that. You'll take that any day. So what 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 really makes me happy about this game was the fact that the defense did step up. But you saw with offense, I feel like there was just things that were just out of sync. And I think people got to remember too, because we're holding Caleb Williams in comparison to the other guys that are rookies, and they improved throughout the year and whatnot. I want to keep in mind CJ Stroud last year, he did not have a good game. His
No,
first game was not good. There's been a myriad of rookies who have not had impressive debuts, but it didn't mean that they were going to have a bad career. So I think just knowing what this defense is capable of and seeing that, just imagine when the offense gets going. Just off of what
it's
I see. And regardless if they gave up 17 points in the first quarter, in the first half, adjustments were made, which was important because that's something we did not see in the first half of Matt Eberflus's tenure. But just imagine if everything is clicking, there's no reason why this team cannot be a playoff contender.
no, you're absolutely correct. And yes, they had sub 200 yards on offense. It was gross. It was reminiscent of a Rex Grossman Bears game. It
Yes.
was. And at the end of the day, how I'm looking at this is okay, they were under 200 yards of offense. What happens if this team even gets to I don't know, fucking 250 yards of offense if all three phases of the football team are firing? This defense it's improved vastly.
Yeah.
And people were quick to write off the Titans, I think,
Yes.
offseason after some of the moves they made. And if they had a competent quarterback, they would have won that football game. There's
Yeah.
no ifs, ands, ors about it. Will Levis lost them that football game. And what I'll say about this defense, you were kind of when they made their ways down the stretch last year, there was no real test at the quarterback position, right? I mean,
True.
there weren't, but and that was one of my concerns this year is all right, let's see what they can do against an upper tier quarterback. Will Levis
Right.
obviously not in that tier of quarterback. He's in the bottom half. There's no doubt about it right now.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're able to do that to these lower tier quarterbacks and just terrorize them, this defense is only going to get better too.
Right.
And that's all it comes down to. The defense is only going to get better, and ideally, this offense is going to get better. And it's unfortunately the same song and dance that we've been playing for eternity. it's the offensive line for the Bears.
Yeah.
And
Interior
the
of the
interior
offensive
of the
line.
offensive line is a complete disaster. When the coaching staff is regularly making substitutions and changing rotations on the offensive line in game, you know something's not right.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know what the fix is, but it is slightly concerning that Ryan Poles has not been able to fully address the center position since he's been here, in my opinion. I think that has been his main flaw, has been the interior of the offensive line.
And they're going to run into an issue at a point because you're rotating Nate Davis and Ryan Bates. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that Coleman Shelton he continues to have the games he had on Sunday. Coleman Shelton was easily the worst offensive lineman on that line on Sunday.
It was gross. It was really gross. And it is reassuring knowing that the Bears will not realistically be playing as good of an interior defensive line at the rest of the season, honestly.
Yeah.
But it was ugly. It was ugly. And in my opinion, there is no reason that Ryan Bates should not start this week. And I get you want to see how this potential starting offensive line from week 1 is going to shape up, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't let Caleb embarrass himself on national TV against CJ Stroud. I know CJ Stroud did not have a great first game as a rookie year last year either. But if Caleb has a bad game, the national media gets to him. I don't want to see a potential spy out of him. Granted, I don't think that will happen. I think he's mentally stronger than that, but it's still a very real possibility. You don't face as much media scrutiny at USC out in LA as you will as the quarterback of the Chicago Bears, especially a franchise who's just known for being horrendous at the quarterback position.
Right.
And granted, I think he's going to improve. After watching his presser, he knows he needs to improve, and he blamed no one but himself. And I thought he answered those questions better than in the best way he could have. Honestly, he owned up to the fact he played bad. He acknowledged the fact that his defense and the special teams, 2/3 of that team picked him up. And that's what you like to see out of your quarterback.
And here's the thing: when you have the guys that you do around Caleb, he's going to get better. The long passes are going to have just the amount of air around it. You're going to get guys that are going to get open. And the fact is, look, I know people are saying, "Oh, okay," like they brought up the fact that Caleb said he does not get nervous. Obviously, that was proven to be not true. But as the season goes on and he gets adjusted, because like we can't just talk about preseason. We saw we did what he did in preseason, and we say, oh, like he should have carried that over. It's a different speed when you're playing against guys that are fighting for the NFL career than the guys that's going to be starting. Mm-hmm. So once that speed he gets caught up, he's going to know what to expect. And that's this is my legitimate fear about Caleb and how he was going to be perceived if he had a string of bad games. Guys, I can't stress this enough. He is a rookie quarterback. He's a rookie. I don't give a damn if he's number 1.
There's going to be growing pains. It doesn't matter where you're drafted.
Everybody has them.
Not everyone is going to come out like Cam Newton in his first career start and throw for 425 yards. It's just not going to happen.
It's an anomaly because you've never seen it since.
And at the end of the day, all I will say, be a hell of a lot worse. Just go flip on a Panthers game for me.
Go look at Bryce Young. He's in trouble. He's in trouble. And we want to talk about worse. We want to talk about really bad. Nathan Peterman. Go look him up. Go look up his very first start. Yeah. That's bad.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we saw with Caleb, we saw that, yes, was he Was he good? No. But you saw the
Didn't
flashes of what he can be. That's
he?
the difference. That's what, because here's the thing: the box score is made for a novice to evaluate the game. At the end of the day, you still gotta watch it.
Yep.
But that's the thing. We got a whole bunch of people that watch that claim to be football fans. They don't give a damn about the play on the field. They care about the storylines. And mind you, by the way, the same people who hate wrestling, by the way. But I won't go. I'm not gonna get into that. But they care about storylines. They don't care about context. They don't care about watching the game. They don't care about who dropped the pass. They don't care about if a player got interfered with. That's why he got an incompletion. That's just how it goes. But when you watch, you'll see that it is not. It's something where he can build off of it, and he's not doomed. When we see other quarterbacks, and you're just like, man, is there a light at the end of the tunnel for this player? It's a difference. You just gotta watch the games.
Yep. Yep. So I do want to talk about the struggles, in my opinion, that Caleb had. I,
Mm-hmm.
I and to just quickly touch on the box score people. People would not be dumping on him if Keenan Allen as much. He would still be getting dumped on for the yardage, but if Keenan Allen doesn't drop that wide open touchdown pass, people are looking at this stat line a lot differently.
Oh
And
yeah, perfect throw at that angle too.
yes,
Perfect
and
throw.
I said it. I was watching the game with my dad and my uncles on Sunday, and everyone sees that, and everyone's just like, "You got it. You got me. You can't make this up." The guy who never drops a ball in a decade in San Diego and LA, and I just say it's because he's a bear. This
Yep.
franchise, until further notice, is fucking cursed, and had us clenching our assholes because they just couldn't put it together on the offensive side of football. But issues with Caleb, that concerns after week one. They're not real concerns. It's growing pains. It's going to happen, but just noticeable things. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
He underthrew a lot of fucking receivers.
He did.
There was a lot of footballs at ankles, at feet, in the dirt. And I get the offensive line, interior of the offensive line, led him to having to make some decisions quicker than he wanted to. And even with that, there were no interceptions. There really weren't any close calls on interceptions from what I can remember either, other than a couple batted balls.
Yeah,
Also is an issue that
that's my biggest issue with
that
him.
is yes. You can't be throwing balls in the hands like as many. I think it was 5 or 6 times he
Yeah,
had passes batted down the line of scrimmage. That can't happen.
yeah.
And it's not a height thing with him. I like that anyone who says that is just get over yourself. It's
I
mental.
think it's like I was watching my girlfriend's father, and he said it's a throw motion issue. Like and truth be told, a lot of because I've seen him throw overhand, but a lot of sidearms he throws a lot of sidearm throws, so
Mhm.
it does make sense. It's just a matter of
It does.
trajectory at that point.
And the thing is, he's not throwing with that throwing motion all the time. He, what I've noticed, and I'm sure I'm obviously not the first person to say this, his arm slot changes depending on the type of throw he's trying to make. And
Correct.
that's impressive, but if you're going to keep running, if he continues to do this, I'll say this: someone in on the coaching staff needs to look him in the eyes, and they need to have a conversation and see is this sustainable.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's going to be the real mark of who do we have at coaching this guy. And I do have faith that they are in direct communication with him because that we've seen it. Like the constant conversation between coach and quarterback. And shockingly, I have faith that if the adjustment needs to be made, that they're going to do it.
Absolutely.
Kind of weird to say, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm not worried. I'm genuinely not worried. It's just you have to talk about concerns. Yeah, it's just that's part of this. You have to try and generate some type of drama, and that's I'm sure going to be some of the conversations that are being had within Hallis Hall this week. And
Mm-hmm.
my other complaint from this game. You have DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, Keenan Allen, DeAndre Swift, Cole Kmet. Why are they only on the field for 10 plays in total altogether? Gerald Everett played more snaps than Cole Kmet.
Didn't understand it. Which is weird for a guy who ran a lot of two tight end sets at
Mm-hmm.
Seattle.
Yes, yes, and it's perplexing to me. I don't know if there was some underlying injury issues with Cole Kmet that weren't ever reported on or what. But it was also confusing when you have Gerald Everett over Cole Kmet in for rushing downs. That didn't make sense to me. I mean, the run blocking difference between those two is night and day. And
Yeah,
if Cole Kmet's not good enough to go on rushing downs and you're putting Gerald Everett in, what do you have Mercedes Lewis on the roster for?
yeah, exactly.
That don't complain. I'm really interested to see how this kind of shakes up, though. And it's not even like Gerald Everett was involved; he was just there.
He was just there, and I really hope they get him involved because Gerald Everett is a serviceable tight
Yeah,
end.
absolutely. He's a perfect number two tight end, in my opinion.
I agree. While we're on the topic of personnel, I really need to know. Like, someone needs to explain to me, like I'm a child. Why was Tyler Scott inactive? And you had Velus Jones make a blunder that you see in high school. His sole
No,
purpose
you don't.
on the team.
You don't see that in high school. You see that shit in cartoons. How do you muff it and kick the ball forward 20 yards?
It's unreal how many mistakes this man makes. He gets away with it every single time. I don't get it. Here's what I think, possibly. I like Ryan Poles, but if there's one thing I know about a GM, they're all prideful.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know if it is a pride thing with him. He cut ties with Chase Claypool. Like,
Yeah, but he didn't draft them, though.
gave up a fucking second round pick.
That is true. That is true.
That's more unforgivable than drafting Velus Jones in the third round. And I think the biggest travesty now is the fact that Hard Knocks was being discussed that someone was willing to offer up potentially a fourth round pick for Velus Jones.
Which, by the way,
That's got to be bullshit, mate. Played up for the camera.
That can't be true. Can't be true. There is nothing. And granted, guys see the game differently from we do. Whatever. But if that was the case, how good of a guy is this? Is he that you can't cut ties with him? So for a fourth rounder, like, come on, man. I think the story's bullshit, but that's just me.
I'm with you. I'm with you. But my other thing is, this is like giving a baby a gun. Nothing good is going to happen. Nothing good is going to come from this. And it's like Cody Parkey all fucking over again, where it's only a matter of time till one of his fuck ups completely ruins the game, ruins the season, ruins the morale of a locker room, and there's no way he is doing this in practice. There's not. I mean, there's no way he is muffing punt, kickoff returns. He's just not doing this in practice if they're still giving him the opportunities. He's got to be doing something right on Monday through Friday. He has to be. And I don't. My problem with that is, how much longer can you let him keep doing this? Because it's every time. And he did not look bad on the offensive side of the football. I will say he didn't do anything crazy, but he did not look bad and he did not look out of place when he had the ball in his hands as an offensive player.
But that's the thing though. When he has the ball in his hands, he still can't be trusted to hold on to it.
No,
that's the scary part.
You're right. And
because let's look at it like this. Velus Jones has been with the Bears since 2021, I believe, correct?
Yes.
I can count more lowlights and highlights for him.
22.
22. Yes, 22. there's more lowlights than highlights for him.
He doesn't even have a highlight tape. What are we talking about? There's no highlights to begin with. His highlights would be clips from Hard Knocks practices.
The only thing he did good was when I believe it was Nathan Peterman that was starting in week 18 against the Vikings, and he got an end around for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Other than that, he's done absolutely nothing.
Yep.
Like he gives nothing. Maybe as a running back, because I hate to say this because I'm trying to be as much of a hater as possible. I'm gonna give him credit where it's due. I've seen him carry the ball pretty well in
Yeah.
preseason. I saw the carry in the Titans game. But again, it comes back to this. Do I trust them to hang on to the football?
No.
But wait a minute. There's another personal decision that bothered me. What at this point, what does Travis Homer give you more than Roschon Johnson?
Okay, when they gave him a third and short carry and Roschon Johnson was a healthy scratch, I just could not help but ask why.
What the
What
hell?
did Roschon Johnson do last year other than produce? Genuinely, like he when he was given an opportunity, he made the most out of it. And I just sure Travis Homer made a nice hit on special teams. Okay, fine.
Yeah, cool.
Cool. But my problem then is if you're keeping him for his special teams abilities, why do you need Velus Jones?
Why? You know what?
Why
That
don't
is
you
came to me.
why don't you keep the true running back then instead of trying to make a wide receiver who fucking sucks and has issues everywhere? What are we doing?
It makes no sense. I hope to get clarity as the season goes on. But if next week, if the same thing is happening with Tyler Scott and Roschon Johnson, I have to ask, what the hell are we doing? Like, yes, they're sophomores, but you're acting like if you play them, you're taking a risk in having them make a mistake while you're banking on. And Travis Homer, I'm not saying Travis Homer should be a healthy scratch because he produces on special teams, but you have Velus Jones who's out there, and what the hell does he do?
Mm-hmm.
You got linebackers. You don't even use Noah Sewell. Make him inactive. Like, what are we doing?
That is going to be a storyline to watch this year because I don't know potentially what type of dirt Velus Jones has on this coaching staff, the front.
Be a lot. It's
I,
gotta be.
it's just disappointing. It's disappointing, and I don't think Velus Jones will be here after the bye week. I will just say that. I think they're giving him until the bye week.
He gonna be here for the whole season. I hate to tell you. Ryan Post loves him clearly. He gonna be here for the whole season. Will he be here beyond? No,
No.
absolutely not.
Frustrating, but I can't wait to see how he fucks things up for us on Sunday Night Football. Brandon, realistically, where's your head at heading into Sunday night with the Texans? Because in Vegas right now, it's a 6.5 point spread. Texans favored. I think that's fair. Based on how week one went, I think that's very fair. But that's not to say that this is not a winnable game for the Bears. It is.
Here's the thing. If you ask me at this moment, because my mind could change, every game's winnable. I have a weird belief in this team, and I'm not saying they're going to win on Sunday, but I have a weird belief in this team that, number one, I haven't really felt in a long time, but also, two, I have a feeling that talent is actually going to win out.
I agree.
And there's one thing with having talent, and there's another thing to use them. How basically this whole conversation we just had about personnel. Defensively, they were very, very different than what we saw early last season. More blitzing, more man coverage, more exotic looks. Literally, I kid you not, for the years we've been doing this show since Matt Eberflus took over, that was one of the main things we were clamoring for. Just those things. As a defensive coordinator, more notably that you were, that's all we were asking for.
Yep.
And it took you to year 3 to incorporate that. I mean, what the hell? But you did it. You did it. But literally, that stuff tells me that things are going to be a little bit more differently, especially when you have the talent that you do. You could afford to give some more exotic looks. So I think in that case, we'll see. But I think that they have a chance to win the game. Like they're going to win? No. Do they have a chance? Absolutely.
I agree. And because even before looking at the spread, my prediction was like a 24 or 27 to maybe 21-17 range, like for the Bears. And I just want to see Caleb improve and
That,
not be afraid to take shots because it did look like at times with the offensive scheme, they were setting him up not to fail, if that makes sense.
yeah, they basically told him to play point guard, and
Yep.
point guards don't risk giving up the
Yep.
ball.
And he did fine with that. But I really want to see under the bright lights, just let it rip. Let
Yep.
it let it rip. And obviously it seems as though we're probably gonna be down Roman Dunze, unfortunately, with the MCL sprain, because what else is new?
Yeah, nice.
No good things last year. But at least it's not our quarterback. Um, uh, but you just have to push the ball downfield. I mean, that's all that I want to see this week is don't be afraid to take shots because when I think it was two of the first five plays the Bears ran offensively, I think were bubble screens or like bullet screens. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. It was like I had war flashbacks to Matt Eberflus and not Matt Eberflus, Jesus.
Luke Getsy.
Getsy, Matt Nagy, all of the above. Like it's just it's I just throw the ball downfield. And I know I think he took two deep shots in the entire game, Caleb, and one of them he just threw out of the back of the end zone. And then the other he just completely overthrew to
Yeah,
I believe it was Keenan Allen down the left
it was
side.
Keenan.
Yeah, and it was he had him in stride. He overshot it.
Hey, look. By the way, I just want to tell the people, Luke Getsy's Raiders put up 10 points, but I digress. But that's one thing that I did notice. Outside of Derek Stingley, I believe the Texans secondary can be had. The main matchup I'm looking forward to is the trenches. Because
Yes.
the Texans got themselves a defensive line, y'all, and they're a great group. That's going to be a big challenge for the Bears, and it's going to be really telling how. Because I'm gonna be honest, I think it's kind of inevitable that Caleb's going to face pressure. How much pressure is going to be the question. How he's going to handle it is it the even bigger question. So that's my biggest. That's what I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, and across the league, then Brandon, just overall, a couple shocks this weekend, a couple, big storylines. But what would you say across the league was kind of your biggest takeaway? It could be just a take. So me personally, obviously, we could talk about the Bengals losing to the Patriots, right? Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it last week. This is my biggest takeaway. Yeah, they won, but there's dissension in Philadelphia. And the loss of Jason Kelsey is going to loom much larger than people thought.
Yeah.
That's not to say the Eagles are not a very good football team. They are. But I don't give it much longer until Eagles fans are calling for Jalen Hurts.
To respond to that, before I get into mine, I saw the Eagles and the Packers, and I said, of course, these teams are going to score on each other because both defenses stink.
Yep.
That's my takeaway.
That
Game was
is also very true.
That game was sloppy, and shame on the NFL for bringing them in a country that
I still
is
I can't believe that, dude.
the field was terrible and they was at risk for their lives outside the damn stadium. Shame on the NFL. They need to do that shit. But money, I guess, whatever. Like they don't like they don't print money, whatever. My thing is the Eagles, they looked impressive, but that the balance in between them making big plays and making turnovers, one is going to outweigh the other, and it's going to be the mistakes. And because you're not going to play that brand of football and get away with it for the whole season, it's just not going to happen. So I don't expect for them to be good going forward. Like they'll be contending because they have talent. Talent wins over a lot of things, but they're going to face a lot of trouble this year because they are just not they're not cohesive enough on both sides of the football. My biggest takeaway: the Ohio's.
Yeah.
What in the hell is going on with Cincinnati, and why do they start slow every year? And I asked that question to myself, and I always go back to this because I remember back when Saquon Barkley had his contract issues and it did not get resolved. I kept warning my friends who are Giants fans that you guys are going to take a step back because it was in the playoffs the prior year. They was going to take a step back because the contract situation is looming. And when the contract situation is looming in a locker room, I feel like it divides. Like especially for a guy that is universally known as one of a top 5 wide receiver in the game, and he doesn't have a new contract prior to. That's gonna affect the morale of the team because they're wondering if he's gonna number one get his 100%. Is he gonna get paid or is he gonna get hurt? So that to me, I feel like that's affecting. But this is also the second straight year where the Bengals have looked slow coming out the gate, and I am going to make a proclamation right now about the other Ohio team. They gave out the worst contract in sports history.
Not even just sports.
Screw Bobby Bonilla.
Not even sports. It's the worst contract in history. I legitimately think this might be a worse contract than the contract between the U.S. and France with the Louisiana Purchase. This is
It's that bad.
Unbelievably bad. I mean, Deshaun Watson just I give it 2 weeks until Jameis Winston is starting a game in Cleveland.
I think his leash is incredibly short unless the NFL steps in for the report that came out about him. And by the way, if that is true, he needs to be behind bars.
I missed that. What was that?
Oh, so he got sued again by another masseuse. And I'm gonna send you the details. And let me tell you, this dude is sick. He's sick. And granted, this is allegations, right? But I'm saying if it's true, the guy is sick. And honestly, what's going on on the field right now, that's his karma.
Yeah.
But other than that, the man can't play football no more, man. I'm pretty sure a lot to do with it is the stuff that's happened on the field and how much it weighed on him.
Yep. And the fact that he's just cuckoo and it's. Did you see? I didn't see that, but did you see that the alleged burner of his as well?
If he has look. If there's any indication,
did you see?
I did. If there's any indication, if that's any indication, if you gotta go anonymously to defend yourself, you might be screwed as a football player.
Yeah.
You're not Kevin Durant. You can't do that.
I was gonna say there's only one dude who can pull off the burner, and it's Kevin Durant. And
right.
Kevin Durant leans into it, and I think that's just fucking hilarious at that point that now he just tweets it on his main account and he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But I feel for Kevin Stefanski, man. He has tried.
How much does he have to deal with quarterbacks, man?
He has tried every adjustment with Deshaun Watson too. They've adjusted their offense multiple times with him. He can't throw the ball downfield anymore. He can't get a quick rhythm passing game going. He can't run the play action anymore. Like I feel for Kevin Stefanski because the fact that They were a competitive football team last year, despite how bad Deshaun Watson is. And I will just say, I know you don't like him, but it needs to be said 11 out of 10 Browns fans would take Baker Mayfield back right now. And if I was Baker Mayfield, I would just give the city of Cleveland, not even the city of Cleveland. Well, yeah, I'll say the city of Cleveland, and the front office of that franchise, the double bird, 7 days of the week. And I get some guys need to change the scenery. Baker did not look good in Carolina. He didn't look good when he was in LA. Whatever is going on with him in Tampa, I don't know if it's just that the fact that he feels wanted there.
I think that's it.
His career's been revived, and you understand why he was a number one pick.
I will give the devil his due. I'm not gonna call him the devil. That's not nice, but I will give him his due. He is a completely different player, and the reason why I had a dislike for him because I felt that it felt like he thought he was bigger than what he was.
That's fair. That's
And only solely because he was a number one overall pick. And he felt like he got screwed by the Browns when he first came in, which he did, but then he carried it on and played as a victim. He is somebody that I talked about the Falcons last week and how I think they're going to be flirting with a number one seed in the NFC. And truth be told, I'm going to have to recant on that because I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think Kirk Cousins is healthy.
I don't
And
either.
considering
That Achilles is not ready.
And he's 38 years old, correct?
I believe that. It might be 36, but regardless.
30, yeah, I think he's 30, yeah, 36 because contract comes to 40. It might get late real quick for him. And granted, I need to see him against Philadelphia, and I need to see how much, because I don't know if you saw what Warren Sharp, I think it was Warren Sharp posted on Twitter earlier about all of his dropbacks, and there was a very, very common denominator in what was going on. And what was going on was that it was quick passes, and he threw a lot. He didn't drive. He didn't throw with his right leg.
Yep.
So that was glaring, and I'm just like, yeah, he can't throw off that leg right now, and that's not good at all. And that's just that's telling. And maybe, just maybe, because we called it the worst pick in NFL history, but maybe, just maybe, they knew something that we didn't know. But then again, they're also dumb for paying all that money. So wait, no, never mind.
It's double-edged sword. Yeah, it's dumb. And there's a reason they hired Ryan Pace, but that's a whole different.
Oh well, yeah, that's yeah, I forgot about that. Shame on them. Yeah, y'all gonna learn sooner or later.
Yeah. But yeah, so we've talked a lot about the quarterback play across the league this week, and it was subpar. I mean, it was subpar across the entire league. Yeah. I don't know what to make of that. It's week one. That other than it being week one, I don't know what to make of it. We'll see if it continues because I saw a stat that this was the first week ever. Or I could be butchering this, but I'm pretty sure this is what it was. That this was the first week ever that kickers accounted for more points in football games than quarterbacks across the league.
I'm gonna be honest with you. You said the answer. It's week one. Like that's the answer. I'm beyond like people don't remember. People don't get it that we're so excited for football coming back and whatnot, but we're not prepared every year for what comes with it. Week one, week two, maybe even week three. We're going to see a little bit of bad football. And look, if you love the game, you'll accept it. I accept it, but that's the reality. That's just the reality of how things go from weeks 1 to 3. You're gonna see bad football.
Well, Brandon, you said it. It was week one, but in the NFL. But unfortunately, it was week 2 for the Michigan Wolverines for you this past weekend. And the floor is yours. I have nothing to add other than it was ugly, and I want to know, are you sounding the alarms?
Okay. Yes, I am. And I'm going to tell you why. I understand when you are the top of the top, when you've been running through everybody for 3 years, people are going to come out the woodworks and say, if that's what you get for talking all that shit, that's okay. That's what happens when you win. So when you lose, you have to wear it. And I get it. You waited 3 years for this shit, so you're going to troll us for losing to the number 3 team in the nation. But look, I'm going to sound the alarm because I'm going to make a proclamation again. This coaching staff is not going to work just off of the handling of the quarterback situation. From the portal, from the decision that they made to start, and how they rotate the quarterbacks. When you have Alex Orji, which they said, regardless if he's starting or if he's not starting, he is going to be a part of the offense. Mm-hmm. Cool. But you're making it very obvious when it's 3rd down and 5. You're gonna throw with him on 3rd down and 5. You're running the damn football. What the hell you think they're gonna do? They stack the damn box. And then you have Davis Warren. And look, I so badly want to root for this kid, knowing what he has gone through. He's gone through a lot. He is not a Division I starting quarterback. He's not good. He's just simply not good.
In the Big Ten.
He's not, he's probably a prototypical Big Ten quarterback, but I think no one would take him in the Big Ten at this point.
Yeah.
But
he's not going to win you a football game.
He's not. And I think, and God, I wish Jack Tuttle was healthy. I think Jack Tuttle would have won the job easily. And look, I know this is the denial stage of coaches when it comes to their starting quarterback, the guy that they chose, which here comes the pride. There comes pride that comes into it because they picked the quarterback and they don't want to be made to look like a damn fool. But either way, if you see what the quarterback's doing on the field, you look like a damn fool if you started them, right? So that is the dilemma right now. And I'm gonna be honest with you. The coaching staff, to me, I thought it was going to be a strength. Everyone raved about Kirk Campbell. We thought Sharon Moore was going to be Jim Harbaugh's disciple. Mm-hmm. And then the most disappointing of them all was Wink Martindale. And Wink Martindale has been around. He's basically running the same system as Jesse Minter did, as Mike McDonald did, the 2 past defensive coordinators for Michigan. And you thought, okay, if he's a godfather of the system, we're not going to take a step back. Granted, which I'm going to get into, we lost a lot of people on defense, but the front four is still good. Mm-hmm. But a lot of weird rotations. Why in the hell is Will Johnson now on the field consistently? Why is Mason Graham rushing the passer from the edge when he's the best interior defensive player in the nation? I don't know. It's weird, and it needs to stop. And I don't know if you're trying to be the smartest guy in the room, but you're not right now. You got smoked by Texas. So there's that. There's that angle. I'm disappointed. I'm not angry. We won national championship this year. I can live with it. It is what it is. Now, let's go to the other part. Along with the people that was talking about, Michigan's demise is here. It's here. We finally get what we want. They cheated. Okay, look. I've been consistent in my stance about Michigan. They did nothing wrong. They did everything that everyone else does. They just were stupid enough to get caught. That's my take on Michigan and the cheating scandal. Now, what is that quote? What is that saying that CM Punk called Hangman Adam Page?
Jesus Christ, why am I drawing a blank on this?
I was going to say it. I didn't want to say the wrong quote, but I'm going to say that he called him a fucking dumb fuck. I think that's what he called him. I'm gonna call that to the people who say, "Oh, Michigan, that's who they are when they don't have an advantage. Oh, that's what they look like when they can't scout no more." Hey, you fucking idiots! Look at me when I'm talking to you. Look. I don't know if you know this or not, but last year when they dumped College Stallions, do you know what happened?
Somehow they still ended up with the crown at the end of the year.
Let's circle back. You beat Penn State in Happy Valley. You beat Ohio State 3rd straight year. Big Ten championship, retired Nick Saban and beat Alabama, and you won a national championship against the most potent offense in college football that year. So in typical fan sense, and even dumb fucks like Danny Cannell, who had a shitty quarterback career and came and has a shitty career on TV as well, you can't decipher the difference between someone leaving that or had already left mid-season last season with losing 13 of your best players and thinking there was not going to be a step back. You people don't think. You're so angry at the fact that your team didn't win a national championship. You're angry at the fact that when Michigan had their little run on top, they actually won a championship. You should try at Ohio State. And Michigan State, you want to try it so bad to be relevant that hell, yeah, you could beat Michigan and that's your national championship. What does that tell you? Look, enjoy it. Enjoy this. But you better enjoy maybe win a national championship because that's the benchmark for me. My team did it. Your team hasn't won a national championship going on 10 years next year. Actually, no, it's the 10-year mark this year. It's been 10 years. So you better win a championship because I don't want to hear nothing when December, January come around and you got another semifinals exit. I don't want to hear nothing. All I'm saying is you people are stupid. And if you think Connor Stallions is the reason why we lost against Texas, you didn't watch last season.
And hey, I know it's high school football, but Connor Stallions made his head coaching debut at the high school level this past week and lost 60-0. So
and look, when people bring that up, like Ohio State and Michigan State fans, you lost to that guy.
Yeah.
From your logic, you lost to that guy.
Yep.
That's not embarrassing to you?
So I mean, this week, Brandon, obviously, it's a figure the fuck out week. You're playing Arkansas State at home. You got to figure it out because week after that, it's a tough one.
Oh yeah, and guess what? We're probably gonna struggle through the Arkansas State game on offense, and still stick by Davis Warren being a quarterback. But here's my thing about that: he don't give you much, but he's a senior quarterback. Alex Orji has 2 years of eligibility left. What are you gaining out of letting him rot on the field? Is my question. You gain nothing out of keeping this guy at starter. Nothing. So you would think you probably cut your losses now. But in reality, do they have a viable option to take over? No. But that's where like you said, this is a figure it the fuck out game. And if you got to rotate guys, if you got to start one guy one half, another guy another half, you do that. Get an answer. Because that's what I wanted against Fresno State. We had more questions than answers after that game. And the answers and those questions got answered against Texas. Same thing might happen with USC. Mm-hmm. So we don't figure it out this week, USC is going to come in and take over. And I'll be the second loss in the big house. And when was the last time that's happened in one season?
Yeah, I mean, Brandon, I'll be blunt. Playoff hopes are done if they lose.
They're done. No, there's no path to the playoffs because you already lost one game. You're gonna lose to Oregon. You're probably gonna fuck around lose to Michigan State, which was sending into a frenzy.
Oh, I still don't know about that.
We're gonna see. I'm being facetious, but you're probably gonna lose to USC and then Ohio State. That it's done. And I'm gonna be honest. Seeing the schedule, there's another loss there. I don't know from where. There's going to be another loss if this doesn't get figured out.
That's fair. So I mean, hey, we went as a show this week. We went 2-1 on games. The Illini won. 1. I don't need to talk much about it. Doesn't matter. But Next week we'll be back and we're gonna be talking about a 3-0 weekend. I can feel it, Brandon. I can feel it.
If the Lord loves me, He'll make that happen.
The Lord loves you, Brandon. 3-0 week coming next week. That's gonna wrap this week's episode of the Goonery. We will be back next week and knock on wood talking about a 3-0 football weekend for us. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and we will see you guys next time.